Hello, it's a lovely Friday today, the 18th of August 2023. To present the news, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. The top stories in the news tonight: police impound a truck loaded with precious stones. Lusaka City Council management warns striking workers. 4 Zambians involved in the fake gold scandal appear before court. In international news, children pushed into worst cholera crisis since 2017 in DR Congo. And in sports news, banking sector holds the inaugural executive golf tournament.
On Monday, 23rd August 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Kelvin Wariafube, KBF, Zambia Must Prosper Party President.
Sometimes in life you have to learn when it is time to let go. And this is why sometimes people go back on their words. I don't want to go back on their words.
As they discuss UPND, 2 years in office, what are the failures and successes of the government in power? Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274. GoTV channel 25, Topstar channel 106. Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello again. Another news in detail. A Lusaka businessman, Shadrach Kasanda, and three other accused persons have appeared before the Lusaka Magistrate Court on Friday afternoon in relation to an alleged corrupt practices case. The matter, however, failed to proceed as the other 9 Egyptians have not been formally charged. Speaking shortly after the court appearance, Lusaka lawyer Martha Mushipe says she is working on ensuring that her clients are released on bond. She has, however, disclosed that among the 9 Egyptians, some have been admitted to the hospital. Kasanda, Jim Belemo Mulungu Diangamo, and a commercial pilot, Patrick Kawanu, with 9 Egyptians, were recently arrested in connection with a failed gold scam involving $5.7 million United States dollars, which was intercepted by the Drug Enforcement Commission at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport on Monday. More in this report.
Not even the heavy presence of police officers could stop businessman Shadrach Kasanda express his displeasure when he was ordered to sit in the police vehicle shortly after his appearance before the Lusaka Magistrate Court Friday afternoon.
Come on to me. No, sir. It's okay. What the problem is? Let him say it. You. I know. I've got the problem. I should sit down. Sit like this.
Let him sit down here. Yes.
This afternoon, Mr. Kasanda, Jim Belem, Mulungu Oswald, and commercial pilot Patrick Kawanu appeared before Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chiwidi in relation to an alleged corrupt practice case. The case was, however, not heard this morning after the court observed some anomalies. Among those that the 9 Egyptians, the 4 were recently arrested with, have not been formally charged and were not before court. The 4 were recently arrested with the 9 Egyptians in connection to an alleged gold scandal involving $5.7 million United States dollars, which was intercepted by the Drug Enforcement Commission at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport on Monday. Speaking to the media shortly after the court session, Lusaka lawyer Martha Mushipe says procedure to see the release of her clients on bond is being undertaken.
at this particular time, because of the irregularities that have been found with the indictment, the court cannot proceed because the other 9 accused persons are not before the courts of law and they have not been formally charged. The people that have been charged are only 4 of them, and the Zambians are the ones that have been charged. So as such, we want our clients to be given the necessary, whether police bond or bail.
Counsel Mshipe also disclosed to the media that among the Egyptians arrested, some have been admitted to the hospital.
Apparently, there's nothing of the sort. It appears that the Egyptians have been taken to the hospital. Some of them are not well, so they have been allowed to have access to medical facilities. But on the other hand, you also have the Zambians who are, who are fixed aboard. And
another day for the 4 to spend in custody, while the lawyers give them an assurance of securing a bond or bail for them. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Lusaka Magistrate Court has reallocated the matter in which Economic and Equity Party leader Chilufya Tayali is accused of alleging that members are useful idiots. The matter was sent to another magistrate Friday morning after the Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chibuli observed that the trial court has been indisposed for quite some time. More in this report.
Economic and Equity Party leader Chilufya Tayali has had one of his alleged criminal trials that he is facing before the subordinate court reallocated to a different magistrate. This is a case where the outspoken opposition leader is accused of showing hatred, ridicule, contempt for persons because of race. When the matter came up this morning, Friday, the 18th of August 2023, Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chibuli noted that the magistrate who was first handling the case, Sheila Mwene, has been indisposed for quite some time, with the court having less information when she is likely to report back. When allocating the case, Magistrate Chibuli said it was only fair for the case to be reallocated to a different magistrate because there's no certainty on when the previous magistrate who was handling the case is likely to report back. When he first appeared before court in relation to this matter, Mr. Tayali pleaded not guilty to the charge. However, since the matter has been reallocated to a different magistrate, Simvula, the accused is expected to take a fresh plea. Allegations before court in this case are that Mr. Tayali, aged 48, of Roma Township on the 26th of January 2023, while on a live broadcast on his Facebook page called EEP President Chilufya Tayali, uttered words which were expressing or showing hatred, ridicule or contempt by allegedly issuing derogatory remarks against members. The accused was not before court this morning when his matter was being reallocated. He is expected to make his appearance before Magistrate Simvula soon for his possible plea and trial in the matter. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Zambia police have impounded a CINO truck that was intercepted at Chongwe Tollgate transporting 25 tons of kyanite worth $5,250 United States dollars and 5 tons of amethyst worth $9,000 United States dollars without an export permit. An Inspector General of Police, Grafael Musamba, says the police conducted a 5-day operation in 4 provinces of the country, where 8 motor vehicles suspected to have been stolen in cross-border crime have been impounded. Speaking in a speech read on his behalf by Director Criminal Investigations Division Mwala Yuyi, the police command says the particulars of the vehicles were checked against Interpol database and found to have been reported stolen from outside Zambia. He added that during the operation dubbed Usalama 9, 4 Burundians and 3 Congolese nationals were arrested for trafficking in codeine and cannabis, whilst an abandoned Toyota Mark X white in color was also recovered. More in the following report.
7 law enforcement agencies have carried out a joint operation dubbed Usalama 9 in a series of operations which commenced in 2013 by a resolution of police chiefs from southern and Eastern African regions aimed at tackling transnational organized crimes, TOC. Usalama 9 has seen the impounding of 8 motor vehicles, impounding of a CINO truck registration number AIC 7101ZM and a trailer registration number BAR 7736ZM intercepted at CHONGO tollgate and impounded for transporting 25 tons of kyanite worth $5,250,000 and 5 tons of amethyst worth $900 without export permit. Speaking during a display of the seized items at the Zambia Police Command in Lusaka, Director CID Mwala Yui, the 5-day exercise conducted from the 14th to 18th of August covered Eastern, Copperbelt, Southern and Lusaka provinces.
A total number of 8 motor vehicles were impounded during this operation as follows. Copperbelt, 1 Toyota Hilux double cab, reg number AEB 3319, silver/grey in color. 2 Toyota Hilux double cab, registration number AJE 4185, blue in color. 3 Toyota Hilux double cab. All the 8 motor vehicles particulars were checked against Interpol database and found to have been reported stolen from outside Zambia. So what we do is to ensure that we are not just getting property that, illegally, because we believe in legality. So we are ensuring that what we are getting, we have basis actually to confiscate them, the vehicles.
Mr. Yui disclosed that the operation also saw the apprehending of suspected foreign immigrants and foreign nationals who owned pharmaceutical outlets.
6 Burundians and 1 Congolese national remain in custody pending due process of the law. We are yet to verify their documents if they have any. Arrests for drug-related offences include 4 Burundians and 3 Congolese nationals.
The 7 law enforcement agencies involved in the operation include the Zambia Police Service, Zambia Revenue Authority, Department of Immigration, Drug Enforcement Commission, Road Transport and Safety Agency RATSA, National Anti-Terrorism Center, and the Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority. Recently, the Zambia police nabbed 4 Zimbabweans behind a spate of car break-in robberies in Lusaka. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
A man of Lusaka's Libala area, identified as Moses Sichone, had Friday threatened to commit suicide after it is alleged that he was left out of the recruits under the Zambia National Service ZNS. Mr. Sichone climbed a communication tower at Mkandawira grounds around 09 hours Friday morning, seeking the attention of the army boss. After 6 hours of being on the tower, Mr. Sichone agreed to climb down after the Ministry of Local Government Permanent Secretary in charge of administration, Mambo Hamaundu, arrived at the scene. Earlier, some youths gathered at the office of the Vice President where they wanted to register their displeasure on the long period they have had to wait without being called, despite their names appearing in the newspaper. More in this report.
Zambia's population as of 8th September 2022 stands at 19,610,769. Despite this huge number of population, the country continues to grapple with high unemployment levels among its citizens. According to the 2021 labor force survey, only 3.6 million Zambians were in the labor force, while about 6.4 million were outside the labor force due to various reasons. But in the emotional turn of events, a man identified as Moses Sichone of Lusaka's Libala Stage 2 took his frustration of being left out in the recent defense recruitment by attempting to end his life as he climbed the communication tower. The Libala residents who woke up to this shock trekked to witness how Moses was ready to end his life in a view to escape the haunting pain of being left out in the defense recruitment exercise. For over 3 hours, Moses was on the tower as he kept on pointing at Arakan Barracks in an attempt to seek the audience of the Army Commander, Lieutenant General Dennis Dalia Lubuzwi.
Video.
Moses Sichone was only swayed to abandon the suicide plan after officers presented him with a letter of employment. While coming down, residents were chanting for him to be beaten, but Permanent Secretary in charge of administration in the Ministry of Local Government, Mambo Hamaundu, and a team of officers came to his rescue to ensure his safety was guaranteed. Moses Sichone climbed the tower at Mukandawire grounds around 9 hours in a protest against failing to make a cut in the Zambia army recruitment. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Lusaka City Council Town Clerk Brighton Imbai has given protesting council employees a 24-hour ultimatum to report back to work or they face disciplinary action. In a statement seen by Camnet News addressed to the affected employees, Mr. Imbai says the strike did not follow the correct procedure, suggesting that they should have written to management before going ahead with the strike. Mr. Imbai says the council takes cognizance of the delayed payments and has assured that the Lusaka City Council management is mobilizing the resources to pay the 3 months' salary arrears. The statement further states that it is surprising that national union leaders are encouraging workers to strike while management is in constant dialogue with local unions. Workers at the Lusaka City Council have gone on a strike following the council's failure to pay them their monthly salaries since May this year, coupled with poor conditions of service. The opposition Christian Democratic Party has opposed the stance by the Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, Paul Kabuswe, that the alleged impounded gold at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport is fake. Addressing the media Friday, party president Danny Pole says he is convinced that the purported fake gold is real because the suspects had mineral testing equipment. Meanwhile, Mr. Pole has asked the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Jack Mwimbo, to allow citizens express their views on the matter. Here's a report.
While events unfold on the alleged gold scandal of a private plane carrying $5.7 million in cash, 602 pieces of suspected gold bars, and 15 pistols with 126 rounds of ammunition, questions of who is truly involved in the scandal is the public talk. But opposition Christian Democratic Party President Danny Pule says the alleged gold, which was impounded at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, is not fake, as explained by Minister of Mines Paul Kabuswe, as he argues that the suspects possessed equipment to test the gold. The opposition leader is now calling on the international community to recover the alleged gold.
As Christian Democratic Party, we are convinced that there was real gold involved and not copper and zinc, as pronounced by the minister in question. By the minister. The question is, where is the real gold? The gold traders who were caught with the millions of dollars had the equipment to test the gold. We believe that the very appearance of copper and zinc is very different from that of the appearance of gold.
While addressing the media Friday, Mr. Pule called for the quick enactment of the Freedom to Access Information Bill and the Public Gathering Bill. The opposition leader believes had the two pieces of legislation been in effect, the questions surrounding the gold scandal would have been answered. He sits on the premises that information on who is involved in the gold scandal is unclear.
Upon President Hakainde and the UPND to enact the Freedom of Information Bill and the Public Gathering Bill to replace the Public Order Act, which the Zambia Law Development Commission and other stakeholders have developed and has since been before the President as early as late last year or early this year. To be clear on this, we as Christian Democratic Party, we advocate for the total repeal of the Public Order Act.
Meanwhile, the opposition leader has downplayed the UPND administration 2 years' reign. He says the administration has failed to live up to its campaign promises and people's expectations.
Indeed, we can confidently say that the UPND has not lived up to the people's expectations under which they were voted for. They were voted on the promises they made, such as reducing the price of meal, fuel, farm inputs, reduced exchange rates, and providing employment for our youths, among others. Despite these promises, which Mr. Hichilema made while in opposition to improve the living standards of the Zambians, the cost of living for an ordinary Zambian has become so unbearable.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
President Hakainde Hichilema has alleged that all the workers at the airport who facilitated for the local airline to taxi on the Kenneth Kaunda runway while the plane carrying alleged fake gold was landing should be brought in for questioning. The President Hichilema says while he commends what the law enforcement agencies have done so far in arresting those involved in the scandal, there was a failure of supervision at the airport which should be investigated. President Hichilema says information reaching his office is that there were lengthy negotiations at the airport and has assured that this will not be allowed in the country. And the head of state has advised members of the general public to stop politicizing criminal matters, adding that such issues divert attention from the actual investigations.
Who uphold the rule of law, no matter what happens. Vice President, I've whispered to colleagues since I came in last night, the relevant ones, that what happened at the airport, we commend the law enforcement agencies. We commend citizens that were late. The question is that there could have been situations where planes came like that, transacted and left. It's good that this scam has been exposed. But tied to that, I have asked the question myself. How did the other plane taxi on the runway? What was the communication? Who gave people who went on the runway yellow jackets? That's the question. Where do they work? What systems are there to allow a facilitation? I'm here saying that we will ensure that those two are brought to the table. There's a failure of supervision. While we commend what was done, but there's a failure of supervision there.
The labor movement and employers have urged the government to ignore sentiments calling for the National Health Insurance Scheme Authority, NEMA, to be taken back to the Ministry of Health from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. In a joint press briefing Friday morning between Zambia Congress of Trade Unions and Federation of Employers, ZCTU President Blake Mulala says the reverting of NEMA to the Ministry of Health has been rejected by employees as it will deny them a platform to have a say on the matter. And Zambia Federation of Employers President Myra Ngoma says the placing of NEMA at the Ministry of Health will result in the scheme lacking accountability to workers who account for 90% of contributors to the program. More in this report.
The Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, ZCTU, and Federation of Employers have dismissed calls to revert the National Health Insurance Scheme Authority, NEMA, to the Minister of Health. Speaking during a joint press briefing, the two entities argued that the placing of NEMA at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security was appropriate as it was the core of stakeholders in the sector. ZCTU President Blake Mulala said the moving of NEMA to the Ministry of Health will deny employees the chance to manage the scheme, which is highly funded by them.
We don't want to be taken back to the dark days of where we were labeled that when Congress speaks on things which, if they are right, there will be a tag of a name which was given by the previous administration by then. Because if you oppose any policy, they had a special code of a penal code. There was a penal code which they made. If you oppose any policy which they make, and they will call you, he belongs to the opposition. That was the tag enough to isolate you. We don't want to go to that kind of mentality in handling the issue of national affairs. We wish to commend the New Dawn administration for taking the step and necessary action to move NEMA to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. This is a commitment to the ILO Recommendation 202 of 2012 on the implementation of social protection flows.
Mr. Mulala has since questioned the motive of some individuals calling for NEMA to return to the Minister of Health.
It could be turned kwacha. Go to these privates. The story changes. 60 kwacha. What makes the difference? And there we go. We are able now to know where are these calls coming from. What is the interest? We urge you to go beyond this cause. Why are they calling? We are not being told the reasons why they want it to. When they are not drugged, are we blaming NEMA for that? No, it's not the work of NEMA.
Zambia Federation of Employers President Maira Ngoma also disputed the move of NEMA, adding that it would make the process unaccountable.
We wish to state categorically that NEMA's move to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security by the New Dawn government is the ideal move that should have happened at the inception of the scheme.
Recently, Minister of Labour and Social Security Brenda Tambatamba, in her continued familiarization of the scheme, toured the University Teaching Hospital UTH to acquaint herself with the operations of the program at the facility. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
You're watching Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Join us for more news after the break.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rain Glow, your smart irrigation partner.
On Monday, 23rd August 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Kelvin Wariafube, KBF, Zambia Must Prosper Party President.
Sometimes in life you have to learn when it is time to let go. And this is why sometimes people go back on their words. I don't want to go back on their words.
As they discuss UPND, 2 years in office, what are the failures and successes of the government in power? Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Topstar channel 106. Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We'll continue with Camnet Television News. The Access to Information Coalition has petitioned government to make progress with the Access to Information Bill so that it can be enacted into law. Speaking at a meeting with residents of Matero constituency, Coalition Vice Chairperson Ges Nyirenda says when the bill is enacted into law, it will help to keep public office holders accountable and transparent. Speaking at the same event, Kapwepwe Ward 20 Councillor Patrick Salubusa says lack of access to information has exacerbated the low participation in the Constituency Development Fund CDF in most communities. More in this report.
Since 2002, when it was withdrawn from Parliament, the Access to Information Bill has been pending, with governments ending at promises during election campaigns. The Freedom of Information Bill, as it was known then, was withdrawn to allow for further consultations. 21 years later, nothing has materialized. Today, Access to Information Coalition called on Matero residents to share with them the importance of this bill.
People of the Republic within their communities, they must be, given or enticed on what the access to information is, so that they understand that this right which they have, they need to begin to demand, this right to be facilitated by government. Remember that government or the state does not give anyone any right. It only facilitates. Access to information is a right, and government must facilitate this right by ensuring that enabling legislation is passed. Remember that the Access to Information bill has been with us for the past 23 years or so, and 23 years is too much.
Also at the meeting was Kapwepwe Ward 20 Councillor Patrick Salubusa.
People should be given information. When we increase CTF, naive exam on CTF. So people will be able to understand. For example, CTF in our bursaries, but when the rules of CTF, it's qualified under CTF. So this information should go to the people. Because you start blaming me because your child does not want to Unza, yet CTF is not for that. But when people are given right information, for example, because your mother understands that Matama, you have an MP. Matama is the councillor. But someone who buys job time and insults the councillor already, no Matama. So people should be taught that the councillor has become on. That is the information people should have. For me, I will say it a different way. With my empowerment, I was in my youth to access CDF. When you look at the document, even a person like me was not a degree. If we can have an office and what about that woman? Anna can say the was to be empowered.
Meanwhile, some residents were elated to learn about the importance of this bill, while others had proposals.
When people are informed in the society, it means there will be less speculation about pointing fingers. Also, it brings the development, because when people are informed, they will make the right decisions and implement whatever developmental project that is required in the area.
at least tatanyamuka in groups we match kuti vantu vaonerepo kuti tanyamuka tivantu. Without that kulibe kwezaenda izakaria so chabe, so at least tikavitevekesa kambisana umu, at least ngati kupanga ma-t-shirts vakapanga ma-t-shirts tikavare, then we match kutoka kumatero kwenda uko, then avenangu so chabe tibwa tigumana pachani pakati wonse, then zachita achieve.
Last month, Cabinet approved in principle the introduction of the Access to Information Bill in Parliament, and once it is enacted to law, it will ensure that citizens have easy access to information from public and relevant private bodies to prevent corruption, misinformation and falsehood. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, stakeholders in the media have appealed to the government to improve the stringent legal operating environment of journalists by enacting the Access to Information Bill. Speaking during a town hall meeting to discuss how existing laws impede media freedoms in the country, Chapter 1 Foundation Legal Officer Muleta Kapatiso says Zambia has several archaic laws which makes the work of journalists difficult, and the ATI bill can improve the environment. And Free Press Initiative board member Brighton Perry says the media is already facing some form of media regulation, as the government is at the center of issuing press cards, as well as who covers some events such as the State House press briefings. Mr. Perry adds that journalists should unite and strategize how to defend the profession from the influx of imposters who are seemingly taking over their work.
Because of some article that was written concerning analyzing the Zambian military situation, and they were slapped with charges like espionage. We have seen also in the past how defamation itself has been used against journalists. Now we can celebrate that defamation of the president is no longer having the force of law, has been repealed, but we still have criminal defamation on our statute book. The international standard has called for the repeal of such a thing as criminal defamation, because those that are offended, that feel they can defend themselves and prove that their person has been injured, should be able to launch their applications in court and seek civil remedies.
We are still applying the same laws that the colonial masters used to inflict pain on Africans. There's no justification. There's seditious, violent country. I'm a victim of this law. Because we wanted to inform the people of the impending danger. But under seditious law, we are not allowed to do that. You know? For example, this country could be on the verge of being attacked by external enemies, and it reaches you as a media. Under this law, you are not allowed to publish that information.
And the Media Association for Self-Regulation has unveiled members of the first ever Media Self-Regulation Council of Zambia and the Media Ethics and Complaints Committee, whose mandate would now be to receive and deliberate on public complaints arising from the work that the media does. Speaking when he unveiled the board Friday morning, Media Self-Regulation Council of Zambia interim chairperson Pastor Kennedy Mambwe says the establishment of the Media Self-Regulation Council of Zambia and the appointment of the MECC arises from the media endeavor that brought journalists together from different parts of the country who gathered in April this year. And the newly appointed committee chairperson, Samu Mujuda, says his team will work at ensuring that the media upholds the highest levels of professionalism and that those who feel aggrieved by the conduct of the media are given a fair hearing. Here's a report.
Following the directive by Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema that the media in Zambia needs to self-regulate, failure to which government will be left with no choice but to move in, the Media Association for Self-Regulation has unveiled members of the first ever Media Self-Regulation Council of Zambia and the Media Ethics and Complaints Committee, whose mandate will now be to receive and deliberate on public complaints arising from the work that the media does. Speaking when he unveiled the board Friday morning, Media Self-Regulation Council of Zambia interim chairperson Pastor Kennedy Mambwe has named veteran journalist and lawyer Sam Mujuda as the chairperson of the committee, who will be vice by Mr. Fanuel Chembe, who is also a veteran journalist.
One is Mr. Sam Mujuda, who is a veteran journalist and lawyer, and he will also serve as chairperson for the Media Ethics and Complaints Committee. Fanuel Chembe, he is the vice chairperson of the Media Ethics and Complaints Committee. Mr. Chembe. The next will be Mr. Young and Youthful, Mr. Kamufisa Manchishi, is coming from the academics profession. The fourth one is Sister Kayula Lesa.
Meanwhile, Media Institute of Southern Africa, Mr. Zambia chairperson, Father Barnabas Simatende, says the Media Ethics and Complaints Committee will serve as a guiding light, offering a clear framework for ethical journalism while providing an avenue for grievances to be addressed.
But with this power comes an even greater responsibility. The responsibility to report ethically, accurately, and without fear or favor. This committee is a collaborative effort among media practitioners, media organizations, civil society, and the public, which came together to ensure that the Fourth Estate remains a force for good in our society.
And the newly elected chairperson of the committee, Sam Mujuda, is optimistic that the team will ensure that conflicts between the media and the people who they serve is amicably dealt with to ensure that the media is ethical in their line of duty.
The benefits of this mechanism is that disputes will be resolved faster, it will be free, and we will relieve the courts of the burden of long and complicated procedures.
And one of the journalists has welcomed the committee and is optimistic that it will go a long way in ensuring that media self-regulation is enforced.
I think the members of the public now are called upon to say, okay, this thing has been reported about me, but I think it is not correct. But I'm sure the ethics committee now that has been put in place will be able to analyze, okay, are we conducting ourselves ethically in the manner that is befitting the profession, which is the fourth estate of the country.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Lusaka City Council, LCC, says it has so far seized 135 liquor trading licenses from the government since it banned the sale of alcohol in markets, bus stations and home shops. Council Public Relations Officer Nyambe Wulumba says the seized licenses from various parts of Lusaka are pending cancellation by the licensing committee at the Lusaka City Council. Mr. Wulumba discloses that the seizure comes in the wake of inspections the council has conducted since the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development directed local authorities in the country to stop the sale of alcohol in markets, bus stations and home shops. He says underage drinking has risen as a result of the sale of alcohol in markets and home shops.
The Lusaka City Council has so far seized 135 liquor trading licenses from the time government banned the sale of alcohol in markets, bus stations, and of course home shops. So the seized licenses are pending revocation by the liquor licensing committee of the Lusaka City Council. The seizure follows numerous inspections that the local authority has conducted in various parts of Lusaka to ascertain compliance in as far as the sale of alcohol in the aforementioned areas is concerned. We continue calling upon liquor traders to always make sure that they comply with liquor trading regulations and other pieces of registrations so that they don't find themselves in conflict with the law we further call upon members of the public to work hand in hand with our officers. Let them alert us in case of any happenings in their localities. You know, we largely depend on members of the community and of course our own inspections to ensure that the trend does not continue. We are determined as the local authority to ensure that we bring the trend to an end.
Government and the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, have officially opened a $131,896 United States crop grain bulking center to facilitate the promotion of market access towards resilient agricultural production for the people of Kazungola district. UNDP resident representative James Wakiaga says the similar crop grain bulking centers to be launched in other 16 operational districts in the country will spur crop production in the surrounding communities. Mr. Wakiaga said the Kavuyu Multipurpose Crop Grain Bulking Center was constructed with the technical support from the UNDP with financial support of the Green Climate Fund under the Strengthening Climate Resilience of Agricultural Livelihoods in Agroecological Regions 1 and 2 in Zambia, CHOLERA project. The UNDP resident representative was speaking during the official handover of the Kavuyu Multipurpose Crop Grain Bulking Center in Kazungola district of Southern Province. Southern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Yolanta Malunga, who was guest of honor, thanked the United Nations agencies for closely working with government in uplifting the lives of rural communities. Here's a report.
Government and the United Nations Development Programme UNDP have officially opened a $131,896 United States bulking center to facilitate the promotion of market access towards resilient agricultural production for the people of Kazungola. UNDP resident representative James Wakiaga says the similar bulking centers to be launched in other 16 operational districts in the country will spur crop production in the surrounding communities. Mr. Wakiaga said the Kavuyu Multipurpose Bulking Center was constructed with the technical support from the UNDP with financial support of the Green Climate Fund under the Strengthening Climate Resilience of Agricultural Livelihoods in Agroecological Regions 1 and 2 in Zambia's CHOLERA project.
In this regard, I would like to congratulate the esteemed government of Zambia through the Ministry of Agriculture for completing the construction of Kavuyu Bulking and Processing Center at a cost of $131,896 United States dollars.
Government was represented by Southern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Yolanta Malunga.
The operations of Kavuyu Grain Storage and Bulking Center will contribute towards exploiting the potential of the local rural economies through market linkages and access.
Other United Nations agencies, the United Nations World Food Programme, and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations had this to say.
FAO specifically has been contributing to the second output of the project to strengthening resilient agricultural production and diversification practices for both food security and income generation.
Firstly, enhancing the storage, aggregation and transportation of resilient agricultural products to boost commercialization and establish stronger linkages to markets and small and medium enterprises through national programs such as the Homegrown School Meals Program.
Reporting, Lawrence Kabutu in Kazungola, Southern Province.
We'll take a break. Join us after the break for international and sports news.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rain Glow, your smart irrigation partner.
On Monday, 23rd August 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Kelvin Wariafube, KBF, Zambia Must Prosper Party President.
Sometimes in life you have to learn when it is time to let go. And this is why sometimes people go back on their words. I don't want to go back on their words.
As they discuss UPND, 2 years in office, what are the failures and successes of the government in power? Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Topstar channel 106. Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. And now in international news, a spike in conflict and displacement in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo is pushing children into the worst cholera crisis since 2017, warns UNICEF. Across the country, there have been at least 31,342 suspected or confirmed cholera cases and 230 deaths in the first 7 months of 2023, many of them children. The worst affected province, North Kivu, has seen more than 21,400 confirmed or suspected cases, including more than 8,000 children under 5 years, according to the Ministry of Public Health. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
A spike in conflict and displacement in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, is pushing children into the worst cholera crisis since 2017. UNICEF gave the warning Friday, saying there had been at least 31,342 suspected or confirmed cholera cases and 230 deaths in the first 7 months of 2023. We have received over 2,359 cases, of which 2,349 were cured and 10 persons have died since this service was set up. The worst affected province, North Kivu, has seen more than 21,400 confirmed or suspected cases. When we arrived here, there was a serious problem because the displaced families didn't have access to drinking water. They were drawing water from the lake, which is at least 1 kilometer away. This water was not drinkable, nor did they have access to sanitation facilities. Today, the change is visible. Displaced families have already been through so much. In a similar situation in 2017, cholera expanded across the DRC, including the capital, Kinshasa.
After a 2-day meeting and following months of negotiations between 7 South African opposition parties, the multi-party convention agreed to work more closely as the country heads towards election in 2024. The leaders of the opposition parties said this will pave way to oust the ruling African National Congress led by President Cyril Ramaphosa.
It's a historical moment for South Africa. This is the first in the modern era of South Africa that coalition is cobbled together before an election campaign.
Today, I believe we have started to build the platform that is going to free South Africans from the ANC and start the work required to fix our country.
This comes against the backdrop of growing discontent with corruption, an unprecedented energy crisis, and a flagging economy mapped by unemployment.
Turn around South Africa. There has to be.
The people of South Africa are not happy about how our country is governed. Almost everything is falling apart and going from bad to worse. This is why the people of South Africa must speak loudly and clear in 2024 and say enough
The historic party fell below 50% mark for the first time in local elections in 2021. For the first time since the advent of democracy in 1994, the African National Congress ANC risks losing its parliamentary majority in 2024 and therefore the presidency.
In our sports news tonight, government says it will continue supporting sports in the country in its quest to make Zambia a sports powerhouse. Speaking when he officiated at the 2023 inaugural executive golf tournament hosted by the Zambia Institute of Banking and Financial Services in partnership with the Bankers Association of Zambia and Lusaka Golf Club, Sports Minister Elvis Nkandu says government will support such events in order to help improve the health of citizens. Mr. Nkandu applauded the two institutions for organizing the event, adding that this will help promote a healthy lifestyle. He said this in a speech read on his behalf by Ministry Permanent Secretary Chileshe Kangwa. And speaking at the same event, ZIBFS President Moses Shuko says his company intends to make the tournament an annual event in order to create networking and promote the message of healthy lifestyle among working professionals. Here's a report.
Chief executives, directors and management teams from various financial institutions gathered at the Lusaka Golf Club to take part in the inaugural 2023 Bankers Executive Golf Tournament. The tournament, which has been organized by the Zambia Institute of Banking and Financial Services in conjunction with the Bankers Association of Zambia, aims at creating networking and unwinding around golf while carrying one message of promoting healthy lifestyles among the working professionals. Speaking when he officiated at the event, Sports Minister Elvis Nkandu said government will support such initiatives in order to promote a healthy lifestyle amongst citizens. Mr. Nkandu said this in a speech read on his behalf by Permanent Secretary Kangwa Chileshe.
This event holds significant importance as it brings together corporate leaders, board members, chief executives, directors, and management team members to use golf as a platform for exercise, networking, and unwinding from work-related stress. The theme for today's tournament, quote, leading on health, not just wealth, end quote, aligns perfectly with the government's call for a healthy nation through physical exercise and healthy living. I'd like to express my gratitude to the Zambia Institute of Banking and Financial Services and the Bankers Association of Zambia for organizing this event. It is commendable to see the financial services sector extending their involvement beyond wealth creation to also focus on health.
And speaking at the same event, ZIBFS President Moses Shuko says the event aims at promoting good health, adding that healthy people are more productive and help the economy to grow.
We are here to keep fit, to be healthy, because as Elia stated, a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. Healthy individuals are more productive, they help to increase economic outputs. So the game of golf, yes, it's a game where we relax and chat with each other as we walk on the golf course. But I think one of the most important things is that we are trying to keep fit. As we walk around, we are helping to keep our mind in shape. We are able to analyze things in a more calm manner, in a very relaxed environment. And then at the end of the day, I think we want to promote individual health, which then would promote individual productivity and growth, not just for the banking sector, but for everyone within the ecosystem.
The tournament, which was held under the theme Leading on Health, Not Just Wealth, attracted 25 teams from various financial institutions. Reporting for Camnet TV News, my name is Marco Kwakozi in Lusaka.
To end Camnet television news tonight, the headlines once again. Police impound a truck loaded with precious stones. LCC management warns striking workers. 4 Zambians involved in the fake gold scam appear before court. Children in international news, children pushed into worst cholera crisis since 2017 in DR Congo. And in sports news, banking sector holds the inaugural executive golf tournament. Our comment verse of the day is coming from the book of Proverbs 10 verse 2. Ill-gotten treasures have no lasting value, but righteousness delivers from death. Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.